multiple championships. They're going to have to show it. People were saying the same thing about, like, Denver's about to, after they won in 23, nobody was saying they were all-time great team, but they were saying they're going to win some more championships. Sure. Boston last year, people were starting to say, oh my gosh, is this going to become an all-time great team? Look, I get it what the stats say. The 68 wins is great. Top 3 defense, top 3 offense. The win, point differential was the best ever.
Because sorry to interrupt. The point differential, I think, can be a little misleading because as games become higher scoring, beating a team by 10 is less meaningful.
The other highest ranking point differentials were in the 70s when the scoring was really high.
Sorry to interrupt.
But I just think, too, I don't put as much stock nowadays in the regular season record as I used to because of load management. A lot of times the star or top players aren't playing. The prominence of the three-point shot so games can really get out of hand one way or the other. And then injuries. It feels like guys are injured more than they used to be. So with so few guys playing 75 to 80 games, the record, Cleveland won 64 and had a point differential of 9. Boston had a point differential of 9, and they both went out in the second round. So people will look at it, and especially the analytics guys will look at their numbers in the regular season. Oh my gosh, all-time great team. What's going to have to happen, because right now they're a one-off. The only one-off, one championship, period. The only one-off team that I consider potentially an all-time great is the 83 76ers. Moses Malone, Dr. J. Why? Because they had 2 Hall of Fame legends in their prime. Now, if Chet or Jalen goes on to show us in the next few years, they're a future Hall of Famer, one of them may become a superstar, then we'll look back at this team as better than than I see it right now. But these guys have to emerge in the future as stars.
I had a thing for you.
Yeah.
This is what Simmons tweeted, and it wasn't necessarily an original thought, but he just put it all together, and I was like, wow. OKC is 8-1 at home in the playoffs. They won those 8 games.
Bludgeoning people.
51. Those are Grizzly games. 51, 19, 43, 7, 32, 36, 15, and 30. So I think that.
And the one loss was the Aaron Gordon dunk.
Yes.
Buzzer beater.
Yes. Which they were up on.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're watching the team, you don't realize you're looking at an all-time great team. But if your kids are growing up, you're like, hold on, what were they beating teams at? Beating teams by 50 and 40 and the closing teams out.
Yeah, but it's 30. Not like they've walked through the play. They went 7 with
right.
Denver.
That's the thing.
That might be credit to Joker's excellence by himself.
But that was no superb team.
Right. This is why
banged up, a coach who had no experience.
I know, but.
So I think there are, I talked about this earlier. I think there are, hard just factors of what makes you an all-time great team, and then what I would call kind of the softer opinion factors, right? The hard ones are, what was your record? You know what I mean? What was your point differential? Those things, that's just the data, right? The softer ones are, okay, and let me add one other thing to it. Did you ever face elimination in the playoffs? Did you ever face any real adversity in the playoffs? I think
you saying you need that, or you don't?
No, I think that the reason you include the 83 Sixers is because Moses said they could go fo, and they went fo 5 or whatever. They lost one game. The Shaq Kobe Lakers. I don't think the one on that list, but the second one, they lost one game, the Iverson game. The first Durant Curry Warriors. They didn't go to a game 6. You know what I mean?
Jordan never went to a game 6.
Right.
Or 7 in the finals.
I think the team on there along the way they did. And so I think that probably cuts against them. I think did you go through legendary teams?
None of these
for this team, no. They did go through the legendary player of the moment in Joker. So I think all of that kind of plays into it. The question I was going to ask you, though, Brew, is if the question were phrased a little differently, where you cannot incorporate what happened before or after, and it was, hey, what are the best, since you've been covering the league, what are the best single-season performances? I feel like they are 4 wins away from having, you know what I mean, being included in that.
It's a fantastic run, assuming they win it. I mean, again, the all-time best point differential, best defense in the league, third best offense in the league, the MVP. But let's keep it real. The teams we look at as the greatest had multiple, like, superstars, generally.
Or legends.
And that's why I said, let's see what Chet becomes. If Chet becomes what I think he can, which is a superstar, he's definitely going to be a star in my view. If he can become a superstar, then we will absolutely look back and be like, Chet Holmgren and you know, SGA, or even if Jalen does it, like he becomes like a Scottie Pippen type player or something like that. I think, but this is who I think they are. I think they are, I've talked about, you know, and people say, well, you're always comparing to the past. We do see a lot of, like, Shaq was like the Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, of course.
Kobe was like Jordan. Yeah. You know, like, we see a lot of guys that are similar. To me, they are this generation San Antonio Spurs.
Well, that would be great.
They're not and I think they are, I mean, you talk about set up. Like, those 3 guys I mentioned, Jalen, Chet, and SGA, are going to be there. And then Presti is the best GM president in basketball. He's built this team. I mean, Lou Dort was undrafted. Isaiah Hartenstein is a second-round pick. So even if they have to lose some of the ancillary parts around their big 3, he's going to add the right pieces. And they are like the Spurs in that, just great. There's no drama. There's no ego. There's no, and they're not that exciting. They're kind of dull. SGA is, to me, a more exciting player than Duncan. But he's not Ant, he's not Ja, he's not, you know.
It's not highlights.
Yeah. So they're kind of dull, but they are awesome. And I think they are going to have a run I'm not saying 5 rings. Spurs never repeated. Maybe they'll repeat, but I think they're set up just like the Spurs.
4th youngest roster, 6th lowest payroll. Pretty good.
Presti
and a bunch of draft picks.
In Oklahoma City, where nobody's going as a free agent. He just drafts and builds a team.
Meanwhile, we'll turn our attention to the Wolves. Anthony Edwards failed to crack 20 points for the 2nd straight game and is headed home. He was asked if he was hurt by another Western Conference Finals exit, and he scoffed. Take a listen.
It's exciting. I don't know why people would think it would hurt. I mean, it's exciting for me. I'm 23. I get to do it a whole bunch of times. I'm hurt more so for myself, for Mike. I came up short for Mike. Like I said, we tried last year. We couldn't get it. We tried again this year. We're going to try again next year. But hurting is a terrible word to use. I'm good. I'm going to work my butt off this summer. Nobody's going to work harder than me this summer. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, I'll try to make it happen again for Mike.
I think Conley's first words after that were, "This hurts."
Your reaction?
He's young. He is young and has a lot of maturing to do. Now, he has just completed his 5th season. Anthony Edwards, I'm talking about. 5th season. 5th season, I mean, you're a veteran. You've been in the league 5 years. You are, by that point, people were yelling, "Jordan, when you going to win a championship? LeBron, when you going to win a championship?" Like, through your 5th season, all right? But he's also 23.
Yes.
So he is close. He is the 23-year-old. He's not the 5th-year veteran mentally.
He's almost to the day the same age as Cade. And Cade, we're like, wow.
You wouldn't think of Cade,
like,
right?
Good
Exactly.
He got him to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
They were born like 40 days apart.
No, that's a great addition to what I was saying. Like, he's 23. A lot of times guys enter the league at 20, 21. Like, he's still young. And he is too young and immature to lead a team to a championship right now. He just is. And look, this is not ripping Ant. In the history of the NBA, there has not been a guy 23 or younger to ever lead a team to a championship unless they had a Hall of Fame legend with them. Kobe had Shaq. Magic had Kareem. Bird had Tiny Archibald. And Bird was 24 at that time.
Yeah.
Like, Walton did it at 24, Bill Walton in 77.
Old soul.
Right. That was like 50 years ago, too. But it just doesn't happen in this league. Usually guys win it at 26, 27, 28 when they can, and we're talking about the best ever, to lead teams to championships. So this is not a slight on him, but he's just not ready. And look, different strokes for different folks. Maybe there are guys that are like, no, this don't hurt, and they're going to put in the work. He does work hard. He definitely works hard in his game. But I will say this, in my lifetime of watching and covering the league, the guys we think of as the all-time winners, they hurt after LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Bird, Matt, like they hurt after losses like this. And they will tell you that some of them think it's necessary. Like that pain drove Jordan into the weight room. LeBron stayed in his room for 2 weeks by himself.
Nice
he
room,
did
though.
soul, right? Nice room. But he did soul searching. Like they're talking, changing his attitude and approach to life in different ways. Like soul searching. And can he do it? Generally in life. When you lift weights, it's the resistance, the pain that makes you better. When you take calculus, it's the pain that makes you get smart. Like pain and resistance is generally what you need to get to the next level. And this tells me, I think he'll get to a point. Let this happen next year. And then the criticism really ratchets. He's fun. He's funny. He's high flying, but he can't win. It will get to a point, I believe, when it hurts him. And he's ticked off at these post-game press conferences after they've lost a series. But now this tells me, while I do think he's going to put in the hard work, I don't know, like, I kind of feel like you gotta feel that pain to really go to where you need to go to lead a team to a championship.
I don't know if he's going to